Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're gonna get started soon. That time is not right. We're gonna get down. In about 10 seconds. So definitely welcome everybody. As you come on in, please introduce yourself. Let me know what city and state you guys are chiming in from as we get ready to get started with the show. All right. Well, listen. Welcome, everybody. My name is Taria Visionavant. My intro did not play, but that's okay. We're going to make this thing rock. I am so excited to have you guys here. As some of you may know, and for those of you who might be new, I work with speakers, I work with coaches, I work with network marketers, and I show them how to have profitable books. And also, one of the things I'm super excited about is bringing to our channel here is we're going to be introducing you guys to some really dope people that I believe can help you on your journey of entrepreneurship. One thing that I pride myself in is I am a big advocate for collaborating, for connecting individuals to other individuals. And I'm so excited to be able to bring on this young lady that we have for today. So let me just go ahead and give you a brief little bio. First of all, her name is Karwanna D, y'all, and she is an award-winning small business expert, the founder of She's Got Goals LLC and the $1 Trillion Secret to Government Contracts. As a 20-plus year business vet who has successfully built 2 small businesses on her own, she actually teaches small business entrepreneurs how to grow their business with government contracts. Hello. Government contracts, y'all, so that they can have consistent, sustainable income and get paid top dollars by the #1 largest purchaser of services in the U.S. without chasing customers. Y'all, she has helped well over 200 plus business owners generate upwards of $3+ million, featured on CBS, NBC, Fox, Star Tribune, Best Business, and just more, y'all. So without further ado, I am so thrilled and so excited, everybody. Let's give her a round of applause. Karwanna D's in the house. Hey. So hello, beautiful. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome and blessed. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, listen, I am so excited to have you here. This is definitely a conversation, when you and I connected, Chucks, was it last year? Yeah, last year, because we had the boot camp in January. But when we connected last year and you were just telling me what you wanted to really write the book about, because you went through our boot camp and how you have been helping hundreds of entrepreneurs get government money, child. You already know. I was like, for real? Okay, can all business owners get money? And so excited to have you here. First of all, for those individuals, I know that was that was the professional introduction. But for everybody that's watching you, maybe hearing your voice, seeing your beautiful face for the first time, go ahead and let everybody know a little bit about yourself and how did you get into contracts?
Yes, thank you so much. So I am Karwanna D, a government contract strategist from San Francisco, California. I would say like a few years ago, I started my business back over 20 years ago, really. Initially, I was trying to figure out how to actually build a business since I had walked away from my job to replace my income, but also give me some time freedom back. And for the first few years in business, of course, I struggled to make that happen. And I couldn't figure out how business really worked, even after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in, getting college degrees and master degrees and all those different things in business and still starting a business, trying to figure it out, right? Still confused. And so, so after a few years of just like struggling, I really got tired and I started asking questions to other people who had actually started building billion-dollar companies around me. And one gentleman actually just told me the truth. He told me that, the way that we, I don't know if I'm frozen because it looks like but it looks like,
No,
he told me
you're good. You're good. You're looking good. You're looking good. Yeah.
he just basically told me like the same thing that I was doing for him or freelancing my way, trying to build my business from the ground up. I can actually do that same service for the government and start on top, right? And so that's really how I initially learned about that you can even sell to the government as a small business. I had no idea, no clue, but that was like the first time I had really became aware that you can sell to the government.
Okay, and the crazy thing is, and we'll talk a little bit about that, is there's
Yeah.
just so much opportunity that many of us don't even understand. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got a little bit of taste. You learned about the fact that you can actually sell to the government. So what was that process like? And I think the reason why many of us we like really don't jump into it is because it's like it seems like it's a
It's
lot. They talk
daunting.
about these
Yeah.
certifications.
Yeah.
What did you do? How did you get into
Yeah.
getting started?
It actually, I just kind of started doing some research. But what I found during my journey of just kind of researching was like information was everywhere. Like there's so much information online, so much information on YouTube, but there really was no step by step like instruction. Do this first, then do this, do that. And so, and then there was like a lot of information is like conflicting, right? Some people will say, "Oh, you can never do this," and other people will be like, "Yes, you can do that." And so it was a lot of conflicting information. And so I just figured I'll start somewhere, right? And I figured I'll start and learn the hard way and bump my head. And when I get it wrong, I'll keep trying until I get it right. So I spent 2 years really just doing that until I found the thing that actually worked when I landed my first contract. And I was like, And I actually, when I first landed my contract, it was like $70,000 for 28 days of work. And that was actually for just photography services. So I thought that was like amazing.
Wait a
And
minute,
I
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
back it up a
Yeah,
little bit.
back it up.
Back it
Back it
up.
up one time. Okay, you said what? For how many days? What?
28 days of work, the contract was $70,000. And that 28 day replaced what I was working 40-hour work weeks, 365 days out of the year working for somebody else in 28 days. So basically I replaced my annual income in less than 30 days. And so I was just like, what this is a mistake. Like I really thought it was they did this on accident. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute, let me hurry up and spend this money before they take it back, right? I really thought it was an accident. And then I was like, okay, let me just backtrack and just do exactly what I did again. And I started landing more contracts and larger contracts. And then before I knew it, I had multiple contracts simultaneously. And I started scratching my head because I was like, well, in school, I learned that you're supposed to bootstrap your way and get a business loan and start from the ground up and wait 2 to 5 years, to see if you make a profit. If you make it beyond that, of course, you're lucky and all those different things. And I was like, if I would have did this at the beginning, I would have been highly profitable within the first 3 to 6 months of my business. So I'm like, that's one of those aha moments. Like everything that I thought I knew about business was wrong. but
Wow.
but one of the eye openers was like, for me, it was just like, this is a phenomena. And when I learned that there's literally trillions of dollars out there on the table, I was like, okay, well, that's why $70,000 to them is nothing. That's why like $500,000 or $250,000 to them is nothing, because there's multiple trillions of dollars, which is why I coined it the $1 trillion secret to government contracts, and why I said, why don't everybody know this? And this is where I come in, like telling everybody this, there's money out there for you, as a small business.
Now, one of the things as well that you had just said, Karwanna, is you said that your first contract you did some photography work.
Yes.
So what? Like what you
Yeah.
mean? Like photography work? Like what? Are you I didn't even know you were a photographer.
Yeah, so I have
Okay.
okay. So I have a production company, Big Mouth Productions, and in that company I do photography, I do video production, I do graphic design and web design. And so that was really the business that I was actually trying to get off the ground. And so of course I evolved. I've always been helping people, but I've evolved into being also a business coach and consultant. But that was those are the contracts that I started getting, was for video production and for photography and all those different types of services. And then what I found was like, dang, there's a lot of different type of contracts that you can get, just as a business. It doesn't even matter what it is that you sell. If you can sell it, you can sell it to the government because they buy it too. And so some of the things that I started learning was like, you can sell wigs and, and barber services to the government, and accessories and all different types of things, communication services, public relations, like the list goes on. And so, yeah, definitely that was one of the things. Because and here's the crazy part, and this is probably for like some photographers. You probably have some photographers in your audience or whatever. Like literally, when you try to sell to individual people photography stuff, Like they're like, oh, they want to pay $100 or maybe less, right? So now you're like $100 at a time. That's like never get to the top, like you know what I mean,
Right.
chasing customers, and hustling. So you can imagine, like, I was really hustling in the beginning until I found the one premium paying client that basically they pay you $70,000 at a time or whatever, or sometimes larger. Because I've had contracts for about six figures for about that same similar period of work, like 6 months, in a 6 month period. And so yeah, the government is the number one biggest purchaser of services that you could ever acquire and land as a customer, and they got money for you, right? So you want to get that.
Yeah, I need to get that money, right? Need to get that money because it's there. And so, and by the way, everybody, we are streaming all over right now. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, all the platforms. And so, if you are watching us live, or even if you're watching the replay, please leave a comment. We'll make sure to try to get back to you. And should you have any additional questions that you want to ask to Karwanna while we are here, you might as well ask them. Okay, so. Now, so you got into the space learning about government contracts and getting paid through the government. My next question is, how long from when you learned that there was money available to you getting like your first check, like how long was that process for you? And I'm sure because you learned this on your own, it took you a little bit longer.
Yeah, it did. So it was pretty much like a 2-year period, really, for me to kind of figure out how the pieces work and just try some things. Like before, I was doing it all wrong, but literally, it doesn't take that long. It just took me that long because I had absolutely no guidance, which is why I created a step-by-step blueprint for other people now. And now my clients are landing contracts within weeks. Like we're talking about 3 weeks has been the record, 5 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. But yeah, so it took me a little bit longer. So I actually, did all the hard work, and, just for other people who would come behind me, now I'm able to provide a blueprint of how they can get there faster or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. So 3 weeks. So it don't take 2 years. Because I don't know. In my mind, I thought it would take years. Like you start getting all your certifications, and it could take you several years before you can even get that. I mean,
you can get literally the one gentleman I recently actually started working with and coaching through the process using my step-by-step blueprint. I mean, 3 weeks, like that was record. Like at first there was a young lady who was a notary service provider, actually landed her first contract in 5 weeks, and she was holding the record for like several months until he was like, oh, I just got my first contract 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks, and then he got a second one like 2 weeks later. So it's just like, okay, so this stuff actually works. So no, if you understand the process to getting started with government contracting and know exactly what to do, you can actually land a contract within record time. So it depends on the person and how fast you go and how fast you execute, right? But even if it takes you 6 to 12 months and you're landing multiple six figures or even $1 million, right? It still doesn't matter, right? Because if you're not doing government contract, you're leaving that money on the table, right? And if you were continuing to chase customers, you probably would never get to the $1 million mark anyway, right? At least not within this time frame. Yeah.
That's good. That is good. Now, for those individuals that are watching, because I know we have a lot of different, styles of entrepreneurs here. We've got speakers, we have coaches, and of course we have authors that are watching. Some of them might be saying, well, I don't think the government wants what I know how to do. I don't know if that service is going to be something that I could even be paid for. And I know you kind of mentioned a couple of things like the wigs, and everybody knows like cleaning is something, or, certain type of businesses. But would what would you tell to the person who's maybe trying to figure out, with what I offer, is there an opportunity for me?
Yep, absolutely. So that is like one of the things that I actually specialize in, helping people see opportunities for themselves, even when they don't see it, right? And so some of the things that I just kind of help you brainstorm through. First of all, like I have a rule of thumb. If you can sell it to a person, you can sell it to the government, because the government is actually a body of people, right? There's people inside those agencies who are purchasing things. And so they buy things like this. Look, I have a pen. You can actually have $1 million contracts just selling pens and paper to the government. Literally, you drink water, right? They buy that. So everything that you consume and everything that you would actually sell to a person, the government consume and they buy as well. And so, there's a multitude. I can go on and on with the different types of examples. But even childcare services, for example, most people would think that childcare companies wouldn't even sell to the government, first of all. But there's contracts for this type of thing. But even on the private side, like, you would think that a childcare company will get paid for like just watching kids. But when it comes to government contracting, it's all about positioning, it's all about understanding what you really have to offer. And so when working with me, I kind of show you, like, not only can you get paid as a childcare provider for the daycare part, but there's also separate contracts for after school care, right? So, and there's also separate contracts for nutritional services, right? You're feeding the kids. That means you provide a nutritional service, right? Sometimes you do homework with children, so that's a tutorial contract. There's different contracts for that as well. And then sometimes you have to mediate families that are in where the kids are in two separate households or whatever, because maybe the parents are split or whatever and issues arise. Well, there's peer-to-peer mentoring, there's contracts for that. And so you can actually get paid multiple streams for every single aspect of what you do. So just think about, what is it that I actually do in business? I don't just do this overall thing that I think I'm doing, but I'm doing administration, I'm doing, paperwork, all these different things. So all those different skills you can actually get paid for when it comes to government contracting. And so you just basically want to think about multiple streams of income for every aspect of my business.
Guys, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit here. And I think that's what we need to really wrap our heads. And honestly, Karwanna, one of the things that I'm always sharing, especially with individuals who are trying to fund their dreams, right? Shucks, many of us have skill sets. And it's funny because I always like to talk about Dr. Miles Monroe. Miles Monroe always says that, he said that many of us are given multiple talents and skill sets, right? However, if we can focus on one, that's all we got to focus on is one, and that's what we're known for. Well, the challenge that I think many of us have is that we're afraid that if we focus on one child, I got to get the money. And need some money. And so the great thing, and then what do most of us do? We go get a job, or we get employed so we can have a financial investor, right? Our jobs. What I'm hearing you tell me is that there's opportunity for individuals listening in where you have a skill set in an area where this may not be your purpose work, but it's your funding work. The work that you can do to fund your dreams, to fund your the things that you wish to do in life. So to me, that's very exciting to hear as well. And I know that we have a lot of women that are watching, a lot of minorities that are watching. Tell us a little bit about the benefits of being a woman business owner, as well as even a minority-based business owner.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. Like, of course, in society, there's a thing where ideally, when you're frowned, you could be frowned upon for certain characteristics, like for being a woman in business, right? Let's just say, or for being a minority business. These are like, or just being a poor business, not necessarily like ground poor, but a struggling business that's at a disadvantage, or LGBT owned business, right? Well, the government actually have pools of money that's set aside specifically for these particular socioeconomic disadvantages. So when it comes to government contracting, those are pluses that you have these socioeconomic disadvantages. So if you're a woman in business, there's contracts upwards of like multiple trillions of dollars that's strategically set aside that only women-owned business can touch. So that makes you more valuable. That makes male-dominated industries, right? They have to utilize you as a woman-owned business. And then like the other big businesses, they have to utilize also minority-owned businesses. So now that basically gives you your golden ticket to get to the front of the line, to grow your business faster, because you have that. You can also get government contracts even if you don't have those certifications, but certifications make it a whole lot easier, right? And it just makes it better, put you in a better position to actually win.
Okay, well, let's get into this, because I know, and we're not going to don't share the date, Karwanna, only because we'll probably have people that'll watch this far after, and I want to make sure that they know that they can continue to get access to these awesome opportunities. Talk to us a little bit about your challenge that you have coming up.
Yep, absolutely. So I do have a get pre-qualified for Government Contracts 5-day challenge that's coming up. And basically, over this 5-day period, I show you exactly how to get pre-qualified. So you will actually walk away a qualified contractor to sell to the government when you take action on everything that I'm going to show you in the challenge. So basically, I'll show you all the business documentation you have to have in order to be, for the government to want to buy your stuff. I'll show you how to position yourself and stand on those socioeconomic disadvantages and get certified, basically, so that you can actually get access to even more money. And I show you exactly how much money the government is spending on your stuff and how to actually optimize on your business foundation to have those multiple streams of income. So there's a lot of things that, that's on the table when it comes to getting pre-qualified. You walk away, like, literally the things that I reveal on the challenge, you'll be blown away. Like, oh my God, I have to do this, right? Because ideally, when you're actually doing business with the government, every small business owner have the potential to at least at minimum make $1 million a year, right? So, that means over the next 20 years, you will be $20 million richer. So by not doing that, you're actually leaving that money on the table. So by getting pre-qualified, that's just the beginning, so that you'll be ready to actually sell to the number one biggest paying customer in the world. Like, who don't want that? Like, I mean, you can ditch chasing customers, because it's a customer that's already in position, like check in hand. Look, they standing up there just like this, check in hand, ready. They're like, where you at, right? So you actually walk away in position so that you can, get your bucket and go get some of that money that they have on the table for you.
Well, child, listen, all I know is I am so excited about this challenge and how you're helping people. Before we tell everybody how to actually be a part of the challenge, I got to ask you a question. So What made you say, because you could have been like, I'm getting this money, I'm going to keep it to myself,
Yes.
right? Yes. What made you decide that, you know what, I want to share this with some people. I want them to learn how to be able to do what I've done, but, not take 2 years. I want to show them how to do it quicker. Like, what made you decide to get into this space?
You know what? So I've always been the type of person that shared information. So even before I knew about government contracting and how it actually changed my life, I was helping people, start a business, like how to start. Once I learned how to actually start a business so that it's a fundable business, so that, they can get grants and loans and all those things, I was sharing that information, those nuggets. And then I learned about, like, how to build business credit to get access to capital, right? So that I can fund my dreams and all those different, and I was sharing that information. So all my life, I've always been giving out information and sharing information with people. It's just like, I feel that I'm called to do that. And so when I learned how government contracting, literally before I start landing my first contract, I was actually struggling. I was going through a divorce. My ex-spouse was not going to do anything to help me pay those bills or provide for my children. So I literally was in a position where I watched my children walk themselves out of their clothes. They was growing, and my son was walking himself out of his shoes. It was a hole at the bottom, and there was nothing that I can do financially. So when I landed that first contract, it was just like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus, And so I was like, why don't people know about this? And I think about the Black and brown communities, and I think about literally how we grow up just being taught all the wrong things. And it was like the moment that I learned about was it Christopher Columbus, really didn't discover America.
Right,
so
right.
It was another one of those things. Just like, wait, you don't really have to wait 2 to 5 years. Like, I felt like I've been lied to all my life. And I'm just like, well, why is Black and brown in our communities, like, we're struggling to get ahead. We're always talking about what's happening with gentrification. We always have these pipe dreams, but nobody really is, like, sharing how to, like, go against the norm, right? And so, like, for me, I was just like, so you can leverage your business to generate wealth. Oh, okay. And then with this wealth, so basically the government can help you buy your block back. So if you get contracts, now you can be a solution and all those different things. And I'm like, I'm about to tell everybody that I know under the sound of my voice about how you can leverage your business as a wealth generating vehicle by getting government contracts. So basically the government can fund your dreams, and they can fund your lifestyle and fund the house that you want. And then you can be a solution to your own community, right? Leveraging your business. And so that's really, like, I'm so passionate because I feel like there's something that we need to do as a community to be able to build each other up. And so here's trillions of dollars, right? We're not talking about nonprofits and just, we're going to do this stuff for free and all that. We're talking about real money, like life-changing income, because it changed my life, and I know it can change the lives of other people. And so that's why I'm so passionate about empowering entrepreneurs, but they have to want it for themselves as well.
Absolutely. You got to want it for yourself, y'all. And this is the thing. I don't know if y'all caught it, but for her to be in a space of coaching, financially, she was already killing it in the government game. So I think it's just truly a blessing that you want to come back to your people and make those opportunities available. Now, I know that the transformation does not take place until the transaction takes place,
Absolutely.
right? In order for us to get a harvest, we got to sow a seed. A lot of people looking for harvests with seeds that have not been sown, right? Yes. So my question is, how can someone sow their seed and be a part of your next challenge? Where do they need to go?
Yeah, so you will go to govconchallenge.com. That is the site you will go to sow your first seed, to get the information to be pre-qualified to sell to the government. So it's govconchallenge.com.
Hold on, I'm putting it on the screen. I just want to make sure. Okay. Is this correct?
GovConchallenge.com. Okay. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I do want to say this because I'm glad that you mentioned like people sowing seeds, or some folks wanting to reap a harvest without even sowing a seed. They want stuff for free. Like there's so many people that are out there and literally Googling how to do stuff, right? But like I said, there's information is conflicting, right? And you will be completely lost without a blueprint. And I'm like, why take the long route when you can take a shortcut and actually start landing some life-changing money? But also, like for me, I think that investing in your business is better than an ATM, right? You can't get nothing out of a bank if you don't put nothing in. But with government contracts or whatever with your business, the more you put into your business, you get even more out. So that is like the best return on investment is when you bet on you. And the people that are afraid to bet on you, they're probably in a position to where they know they're not going to do the action, right? Because it takes action in order for you to get results. But if you know you're the type of person that will take action, bet on you and make investments in yourself, because the return on your investment is going to be, abundant. It's going to be in abundance, right? Like, I just made up a word.
Girl, I make up words all the time too. Abundant. I love it. Shucks. Works for me. Works for me. How many of y'all trying to live abundant? And thank you so much to everybody that is leaving comments. I know we have a lot of people that are watching. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Jesse, Felicia. There were some people in the Facebook group, but unfortunately the Facebook group, Facebook ain't loyal. Don't let you see the names of those individuals, because she said, or they said, she has the red mic as well. Yes, honey, team red mic over here. Okay, so one more time with the challenge. I know that it's a 5-day challenge. Just in case some people are asking questions, is it an all day long type of challenge? Like, what are they going to expect and all that good stuff?
So basically, it's an hour to an hour and a half. So expect 90 minutes a day over that 5-day period. But also, I want you to know that you will never view business the same. When you come out of this challenge, I'm telling you, your mind will be transformed, and so will your bank account. So make sure that you go ahead and get registered, because the information that I help people really, really understand, like for real, it's mind blowing. And when you see what's on the table for you and how easy it is for you to actually put yourself in position to, start getting some of that money. And if you're struggling in business and you're barely making ends meet or whatever, this is going to be the game changer for you. So go ahead and get registered. I'm always excited for the new people, like, to go through this 5-day experience, because it really will, change the way that you think about business as a whole.
That's what's up. Well, guys, listen, go to govconchallenge.com. Make sure you let Karwanna know I sent you, boo, because you're going to have a good time. She is officially certified out here in these streets, y'all. Any last and parting words that you want to leave to our listeners, viewers? Because, of course, again, we've got speakers, we have coaches, we have network marketers, we have authors, and, of course, entrepreneurs out here. What would you like to tell them?
Yeah, I definitely want to just to empower and encourage small business entrepreneurs, no matter what it is that you sell. I just want you to remember the one thing. For me, the quote that changed my life was by Tony Gaskins, and he said, if you don't live your dream, someone else will hire you to help them build theirs. That's if you don't build your dreams first, right? And so for me, I always tell people who come across my circle or whatever, like, to live life by design, but also and not by default, right? So be sure to build your business by design and live your life by design and not by default. For so long, there's a lot of us, just wake up and just whatever happens, right? You want to have $1 million dream, but there's no plan to get there, right? Everything is by design. You really have to map out where you're going to go and do the action steps to get there. And then from there, like, life has no limits. Like, your business will have no limits, but you have to be willing to do the work. So remember that, live life by design and not by default.
Absolutely. Karwanna, thank you so much for being here. And for everybody that is watching, if you want to be a part of this challenge, of course, you got to make an investment to yourself. Girl, look, I'm talking like I got a big tongue right now because I got these Invisaligner things and I took them out, but I still can't talk. I'm just... But anyway, y'all know I'm going to be real. I'm just going to tell y'all what's going on. But for those of you who are watching and you want to know how can you be a part of this challenge, just go to the link, govconchallenge.com. She's going to give you all the details. But yes, you got to be willing to make an investment into yourself so that you can learn about what's available. And I can't wait. Listen, I can't wait to learn more about getting into these government contracts because they got my money. Child, they got my money. Hey! Karwanna, listen, I can't wait to hear some success stories when people hit us up and say, listen, I was on that live broadcast that you did, and now I'm making, $100,000. Or I just got me $1 million contract, because that's what these government agencies are giving out, child. They got money to spend, and we need to get in the way of that money. So thank you so much, Karwanna, and I can't wait to be a part of the challenge.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you guys, look, I don't know if you caught what she was telling you, but I caught what she threw down. See, some of us guys, you might even be saying to yourself, well, I don't even know if what I do, the government would even pay for what I do. It ain't even about what you do. It's about what can you do, right? Figure out a way to position yourself. But what's great about her, because she's been doing this for so many entrepreneurs, she knows how to position you guys so that you can be able to get in front of the opportunities that are out there. And if anything else, her first contract, she got $70,000 for 28 days. Listen, I ain't gonna never forget them numbers. $70,000 for 28 days, first contract for photography work. My thing is this, regardless of whatever your purpose here in this world is, I know for a fact it's gonna cost you money. See, nothing in life comes to us for free. It's going to cost us money, or it's going to cost us time. But one thing I've come to learn is that with growing my business, I want to position myself around people who got the information. This is the first time in our history, if I could be real transparent, that I feel like our community as a whole, we are willing to be able to provide that value, but we must be respected for our value, must be valued for our value. And so make sure that you check out Karwanna, because I know for a fact, like I said, she's certified. I like to do my vesting with folks and make sure that the individuals that I do present to you are going to help you. My goal is to be able to help all speakers, all coaches, all network marketers, and especially all authors position themselves so that they can continue to grow their business. Marketing costs money. Trips cost money. Workshops cost money. Conferences cost money. And so why not be able to get an additional stream of income from an agency, the government agency, that take all our money anyway, child, right? They be taking our money at the end of the year. For some of us that aren't, well, it depends on, where you're at. And hopefully you want to be in that space. But why not be able to position yourself to get money back? Let me see. Gloria says, I like what you said. So very true. Live your dream, or someone will hire you to build theirs. Amen. Thank you, Gloria, for sharing your post. Latanya says, thank you so much. She wanted to know about the investment. And so I know Latanya is going to be getting started. Guys, and like I said, we're streaming all over LinkedIn, Facebook. We're on YouTube. I don't know if we're on Twitter. I think we're on Twitter. But guys, thank you so much for being here. Remember, GovCon. Hold up. GovCon. I'm about to mess it up. Let me see. GovCon. I'm going to pull her over. Yeah, there she is. GovConchallenge.com. Y'all pull up. pull up. All right, y'all. Well, we're out of here. We're going to see y'all in the challenge. God bless you all. And I pray that your day was full of peace, prosperity, and happiness, and everything in between. Bye, y'all.